Yo, what's up guys, it's Garrison here and welcome back to the channel. So today I'll be finally doing my first listen to Dreamcatcher's 5th mini album titled Dystopia, Lose Myself. I'm just so glad that I found the time to do this. As some of you guys may know, the heat warning in my area to having busted AC that won't get fixed until next week, and even crazy enough a skunk near the area in this area. So that doesn't matter today though, because I'm ready to indulge and enjoy new B-sides by Dreamcatcher themselves, alongside with my iced coffee here. And for this special occasion, I brought out my Insomnia light stand. It's good to see Olander and Lee's too, working with Dreamcatcher hand in hand beyond the title track. And for some fans and a lot of Insomnias, to no surprise, Jiu and Dami worked on some of the tracks. I'll get into more of the specifics when we get in those tracks. Sorry guys, I am getting ahead of myself here. Other than that, let's just get into it. Alright, so I brought up Dreamcatcher's intro track here, and of course it's titled Intro, really straight to the point. And some of you guys who are familiar with my first listens, I never skip the intro tracks, especially when it comes to Dreamcatcher, because whether it's a mini album, full album, or even being seen on a single album, I feel like intro tracks are really great when it comes to setting the overall theme and tone for an album, or just straight up being the intro track that leads into the title track for any respective artist. Other than that, let's just get into it. The rain sounds. Oh, this is very dark in tone right away. Loving the mysterious piano. Oh. Wow. Love how it picks up. Very electronica heavy. Woohoo! Very dark in tone bass sounds. And it just ends like that. I feel like this is a great intro into Boca, especially the usage of the lot of the electronica sounds. Earlier, starting on near the start for this intro, the mysterious piano sounds that I touched on was great add into this, and it works, you know. Olander and Lee's, the consistency is straight up there, and I really admire that. And as I was listening to this, I could already envision, if it has not already happened yet, to their showcase, but in future performances, using this intro and into Boca and the flashing of what stage lights or something like that. I could see that them using this intro track and then overall performing Boca. I think this intro track is much darker in tone from their previous intro tracks, if I recall correctly, especially how the bass is used in this, and how a little bit of the trap sounds, like the hi-hats and all that, are not mixed like heavily, you know what I'm trying to say? It's not like bold, but it's still apparent there. It's underlining in this intro track. Just a straight up another good intro track, and I think ever since, if I recall correctly as well, back at their album for Alone in the City, acronym AITC, you already know, where they released What back in 2018, they have been keeping their intro track set and titled as intro, straight to the point. And it really goes to show anyone, including myself, you don't need a grand titling of an intro track to have a great intro, obviously. Yeah. I don't have anything much else to say, but it's just straight up good. Let's just get into the first B-side now. Alright, so this first B-side is titled Break the Wall. Now, this is the one B-side that Dami took part in the lyrics department. However, when I was bringing up this song, I saw that there was a recommendation for their showcase performance of Break the Wall, so it seems like they performed this already. Good to see that, but let's just get into it. Very ominous here at the start. Oh! Loving the guitar work in this song with the drums. Oh. Okay. So it seems like the start here, their vocals are manipulated. Oh! Oh! Love how dark this song is. But how the instruments are so heavy in the chorus. Oh wow. Dami. Pulls us in with Jian. Oh, I love this song so much already, guys. It's got me really reminiscing my teenager days. Oh! Wow. Just the drive to this song. Some riff work in the guitar. Oh. What just happened, guys? Okay, I'm like, all right, they're just gonna ease us in, gonna ease me in with the ominous sounds and all that stuff. But when the manipulated vocals usage in the song by pretty much all the members at the start of this song, and how the breakdown went with the drums and the guitars and everything like that, electric guitar, really got me reminiscent. Like, I need to go back to my point there. I'm just trying to process what just happened now. It got me reminiscent of the 2010, even 2012 days, just the teenager days, where this kind of style was super heavy in rock, and I would hear on the radio like Linkin Park and all stuff like that. And I'm gonna be honest here with you guys, I was not a huge rock fan back in the day with Linkin Park and all. You know, of course I loved some tracks here and there, and the ones that were viral at the time. But when I got into Dreamcatcher, I'm like, oh, I have a newfound love for just the rock genre as well as the alternative rock genre. And I'm not sure if some of you guys feel the same way. I'm like, oh, I'm not a huge fan of rock. But then when Dreamcatcher came out, they debuted, put out fantastic amount of B-sides and title tracks, and not just quantity wise, but quality tracks that really showed several different sides from them. I'm like, wow. But this is something else. This is something new from them for sure. I like the bridge with Dami with the rap, and how that they didn't manipulate their voices throughout the entire song. You know, as the tempo, the momentum progressed as the song progressed. They switched it up, and I love how they bring it back, and how we straight up end it with the voice like the like, man, I still can't process what just happened. But I think the significant highlight that really does this to me, beyond making me feel so reminiscent of 2010 and 2012 days, the angst teenager days, is the chorus in this song. How heavy and bold and intriguing it is, with the drums and the electric guitar with Yuhyun. And then just near the end, as the song progressed more and more, you can hear riffs, you can hear a significant change in the instrumental, and that's another element, another nuance to the song per se, that keeps us engaged. And it makes so much sense now, because when I was bringing up this song, and I told you guys, the thumbnail for their showcase, I believe it was Sua, who had something in her hand with a microphone, like a megaphone or something like that. And I'm not sure if they used a vocoder. They definitely didn't use autotune, guys. So there's a huge difference between vocoder, autotune, and etc. Other other tools that they could have utilized to alternate their voices, manipulate their voices a bit to become more electronic or robotic. And I say this quite a bit in my first listens. I think they could have used a vocoder if, considering, you know, they have to film in a studio and everything, adjust their vocals, and to really provide that feeling, you know, that bold feeling that the instrumental was put down. It really works hand in hand with their vocals and the instrumental. I'd have to say, overall, I love this song. I could see myself listening to this song a lot. This is what I love about Dreamcatcher. No matter what season it is, I could just straight up jam to their songs, and I feel like there's just so many things that I could just compliment this song, but hey, we gotta keep this running. Let's get into the next B-side now. So this one is titled Can't Get You Out of My Mind. Now, this was one of my most anticipated B-sides, seeing from the track listing that Maddox took part in the lyrics department. If you guys are not familiar with Maddox, oftentimes he works with Olander and Lees and the likes of Eden, and he's actually a solo artist himself under KQ Entertainment, who also holds a tease. Now, Maddox, I know him mostly through very moving R&B ish songs, and his lyrics are something else, guys. So be sure to go through his music if you guys want to. Other than that, let's just get into this. Oh, with the piano chords. Oh my goodness, Sheehan. She's starting out with this. Is this in full English, guys? Straight chills. It's gonna pick up here, yeah. Full English. It's got me reminiscing again. Love the tempo in this song. Nami? So angelic, so soft that the vocals are being delivered in this one. There's a nice bounce to this song too. Oh my goodness, Gio. Oh, here we go again, guys. That's what I'm talking about. so beautiful. So beautiful. It's been a long time since I straight up jammed out like this, guys. As much as this is reminiscent again, like the first track, but in such a different way, the early, I would say the mid 2000s electronic music, EDM and all stuff like that. I heavily see now that this caught me off guard so much with the full English lines, this song. It makes sense that Maddox took part in the lyrics department now to me, because he uses English heavily, and his from an objective standpoint, these lyrics make sense as well too, which is great to see and hear. Dami, though, we usually hear her very dark, deep voice, and I love how she showcased her softer side. And this really goes to show how this is only one of the reasons why, and evidently, Dreamcatcher is so versatile. Really. They even I feel like if I see it from a standpoint of a new fan, or someone who's getting into Dreamcatcher, or someone who hasn't heard Dreamcatcher at all, they probably would get shocked by this. And as fans, as an Insomnia myself, I am shocked by this all in all. This is really new. This is different. And that's what Dreamcatcher always delivers, while keeping their signature sound. And I love how this sort of gives me the vibes of, I think it was Silent Night, the electronica sounds in Silent Night, but not in terms of the same vibes. It has that instrumental heavy, it's more instrumental heavy type songs, right? Both of them. But respectively, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, this has to be one of their softest songs by them to date. And it's not a ballad. That is mind-blowing too as well. Wow. There's so much to process in this song too. And so far we've heard from only 2 B-sides. And we're getting pretty much to the end, right? It's mini. There's so much of that Western influence. And as much as there is that Western influence, I love how all these tracks so far just screams Dreamcatcher. It really does, guys. It really does. And oh, I love how it's sort of bringing me back to the days. And the one thing that I really love to point out, that I don't think I haven't pointed out frequently in my first listens, and more so in their performances and MVs, is that the likes of Xian, Sua, the main vocals, lead vocalist, whatnot. The vocalists in Dreamcatcher, I love how, no matter how instrumental heavy their songs are, or how soft their songs are, or how loud and intriguing their songs are, or maybe, they can just pierce through the instrumental and you know who is who. They have distinct voices, but they work so well together. And that's what I always say when I talk about my favorite artists, as much as I'm so biased and whatnot, is that the artist ultimately drives the song. You can have the most amazing track, but all at the end of the day, it's the artist who really drives the song and the instrumental that complements the artist. I'm gonna say it again. Nobody's doing it like Dreamcatcher today. Nobody is. Maybe in terms of versatility, but style, the usage of influences, and the consistency that they've shown. Another great track. I think it's impossible to rank favorites, as I could see myself listening to this track a lot as well. Let's just get into the next track now, shall we? Alright, the final track, final B-side on this mini album is titled Dear. It's sad to see that this is the final one, but Jiu, she wrote the lyrics to this song and helped Olander and Lise in the composing and arranging department. Let's go. Quite an emotional piano start at the beginning here.
처음 내게 사랑해라 말할 때 그 말이 내겐 어렵게만 느껴졌었는데 지금
It's a ballad.
사랑해라 말할 때 내 맘을 다 담아낼 수가 없어 작게 느껴지네 지금 우리 사이만큼 특별한 건 없을걸
I love how their vocals are delivered so lightly.
우릴 빛나게 해 널 생각하면 어느새 맘이 따뜻해져 이런 게 행복일까 알게 해주는 너
Usage of the hi-hat there.
마주 앉아서 널 보고 있으면 너의 눈빛
Straight goosebumps.
난 녹아내려 사소한 것
Every little thing is so precious. You know how I feel.
이런 내맘 넌 알까
So beautiful.
지금 너의 미소만큼 특별한 건 없어 사랑스러운
Oh my.
지켜주고 싶어 널 생각해
Love how the string instruments were introduced right there.
일 커질수록 이런 게 사랑일까 알게 해주는 너 마주 앉아서 널 보고 있으면 너의 눈빛에 난 녹아내려 사소한 것 하나하나 전부 너무나 소중해 이런 내 맘 넌 알까 언젠가 우리가 떨어져 있어도
Tae-soo.
아끼는 맘내 맘 알아주길
Yes.
마주 앉아서 널 보고 있으면 너의 눈빛에 난 녹아내려 사소한 것
ending there with you. Oh. As a lot of you guys who are familiar with my first listens and my channel, I've been really vocal that I'm a sucker for ballads. Pop ballads, regular ballads, OSTs, you name it. What I really appreciate about this song is the added layers from the instrumental break into introducing new sets of instruments, you know, string instruments like the violin or cello, whatnot. And the amount of percussion they used in this to make it not your typical kind of ballad. And how the members really were sentimental in this one. They really conveyed it with their vocals in this one. Jiu, she did it. The lyrics in this song are phenomenal, guys. Dear, I love how they just delivered straight up a ballad like that. So heartwarming, but moving at the same time. This got me emotional, guys, sorry. Because with these comebacks, and especially this one, I was thinking about Handong, Dongi, and even the possibility before of this of hearing her on one of the B-sides. Obviously, like, you can record it and then just add it in. But it's just great that we've gotten news that she's coming on the way back and everything like that. And, you know, my hope is that they introduce her back in throughout an MV for their next comeback or something like that. But this really speaks out to the fans, I'd have to say. That sentimental feeling. So precious. The lyrics are so meaningful. And I love the pureness to this song. What a journey, guys. Seriously, what a journey. Even though this first listen felt so fast due to the fact that I more than thoroughly enjoyed all of these tracks and went through an emotional roller coaster within this mini album. Dreamcatcher has done it again, guys. They really did it again for me. Another amazing mini album by them again. And before we wrap things up, let's just talk about each track and what Dreamcatcher ultimately means to me. We start from their intro track. As to be expected for me. Really good. Sets a great tone and mood into Boca. And then when we hit it off into Break the Wall, got me reminiscent of the early rock days. And how heavy, drum heavy and guitar heavy the chorus is in that, and how Dami's lines are just punching through this rock heavy instrumental. And then we get into Can't Get You Out of My Mind. Nobody saw this coming. They're gonna like, hey, they won't see this coming. Full English track and all. Like I say, probably one of their most soft tracks by them to date that is not a ballad. Got me reminiscent again. And into Dear, the lyricism, the art form by Jiu. This mini album for me, 10 out of 10 straight up. Masterpiece and a half. Due to one of the huge reasons of going beyond being super biased and how I love Dreamcatcher is how they showed several different sides to them and touched upon different genres of music all in only a couple of tracks on this mini album. I just love how Dreamcatcher is doing their own thing, guys. And Dreamcatcher probably has to be one of the best things that happened to K-pop. Straight up. It really is. And for me, low-key, don't tell anyone, between you and me, guys, Boca is Song of the Year for me. All stops. All stops. Even though this year has to be crazy beyond, you know, what's happening in the world right now, more so in the releases, the amount of amazing releases we've had from a lot of girl groups, boy groups, and soloists. Boca is Song of the Year for me. This was a really good first listen, guys. I can't wait to get my physical albums. As some of you guys may know, during my MV reaction that I told you guys, I pre-ordered their physical album. I'll definitely be doing an unboxing for their physical album, all versions, so stay tuned for that. Stay tuned for more Dreamcatcher content, as I now finally have time to support them on my channel here. I'm gonna be voting for them for sure, and hoping for that first win, you know, and be patiently waiting to see the day where we see Handong together with the whole group. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. This was amazing. This has been Garrison. Have a great day. Have a good night. Have a good afternoon wherever you are. Stay safe. Promise me that. And I can't reiterate this throughout all my videos that I've been vocalizing throughout these days. Be sure to educate yourselves of what is truly happening and what's going on in the world right now. If you have not yet, be sure to like, share, and maybe subscribe if you really enjoyed this. And it just warms my heart being able to connect with you guys to talk about Dreamcatcher, talk about their songs, or just K-pop in general. Stay safe, guys, and peace.